Murfreesboro, not just hoping but believing. Do you see that in your team this week? Do you guys have belief that y'all are going to go down there and win this game?
Well, I have no question about when we get on that bus this afternoon, you know, our guys are not getting on the bus hoping you can win. Because like I've said, hope, that first lick you get, hope goes out the window. You got to believe, and you keep taking punch after punch after punch. That's what we're going to have to do Thursday night. And when you believe something, you can do that. I've got no doubt our guys are going to get on the bus believing we have an opportunity. And as a coach and as a player, it's all you ask for. Will we be good enough? We will find out real soon. But it will not be because our guys don't believe and are not playing with a lot of confidence. Not cockiness, but confidence. You want that confidence, and y'all have heard me say this for the last two and a half, 3 weeks now. I like where our team's at, but more importantly, I like it that they like where it's at, how they feel about each other, and they feel really good about each other. That's very evident in the way, probably the way we played. We know this. We're going to the best team in the league until somebody beats them. They're the best team in the league. We've got to go do it on their home court. I think we probably helped them sell out that place, which is good. So it ought to be a great atmosphere and a great opportunity for us Thursday night.
Does the way you played the first meeting fuel your guys the second time around?
You know, I don't get into a lot of that. You know, Chad, we all know that first game, there's a lot of things we could have done better. You know, as I said, we'll never make excuses, but it's very obvious. Go look at Darius' stats. He had one basket, and he got a layup about 2.5 minutes ago. That's his first basket. 2.5 minutes ago in that game was his first basket. You know, we all know he's better than that. We went 1 for 9 from the three-point line, and they made huge shots. They made a bunch of them. You know, I think King had 14 points when the shot clock was 10 seconds and under, and that's a huge stat right there. I'm sure they're better, and we feel like we're better. So, again, we'll see if we're good enough to go down there and win their home court.
You mentioned how tough they are. Does that just come from Kermit's great culture down there?
You know, I think that's the biggest thing. I think they've had guys that he's had some continuity and some consistency with, and Kermit's done a great job teaching that and coaching that. And I think that's the one thing that I think they've got a really good balance of in that program, some toughness and ability to defend and all that.
Coach, this time around, what are you going to have to try and change to contain Nick King a little bit more?
Well,
if possible.
We can't let him get 29 points and win the game. So we know that. So there's a few things we'll do differently. You know, there's only so many, there's no magical tricks a lot this time of year, but naturally we don't want him getting 29 points. There'll be a few adjustments that we do and we talk about, but again, there's only so many things you can do this time of year. You know, we don't need him jumping up, making threes as the shot clock horn's going off. That's what we don't need happening. And again, there was too many plays he made like that. We got to find a way to eliminate some of those.
I feel like Monte's playing his best basketball of the year right now, at least most under control basketball.
Well, and again, Brad, you heard me talk about this 2 or 3 weeks ago. I thought got him settled in. We've made a little tweak, and no question, he's playing his best basketball. When he plays good, plays within, you know, structure a little bit. He's one of those guys you got to let go some. I mean, he's going to do something that, you know, you may not like. That's part of who he is. We just don't need a lot of those things, and y'all know early how much of that was happening. But he's settled in. He's playing extremely well. I think he's playing so much better for us defensively. That's where I think he's better at for us too. I think he's settled in and he's accepting that role a little bit, and again, him playing the way he's playing has allowed us to free up Darius and get him off that point, and you know, and let Darius do some things that he does best, score at ball.
Having a player like Darius who can play the point and play off the ball, he can shoot threes, attack. There's all the different things he can do, all the versatility he brings. What kind of weapons does that?
Well, it's kind of what our game is involved to nowadays. You need versatile players who can do multiple things. You know, the days of having a guy who's just a point guard, facilitator, or a guy who's just a shooter, or a guy who's just a defender, those days are, you know, you don't see much of that. You know, I think your best teams nowadays are teams that have a lot of versatility, multiple guys. You know, you may look out there at us and think that we play in 3 point guards. Monte, Tay, and Darius, you could say that. You know, I like teams that have the ability to be versatile. Guys can dribble it and pass it some and shoot it some.
Rick, and you can correct me on, Kermit said this about a year ago, the background with him in Mississippi State. I think it's tied in with his dad. Tell me if I'm wrong. But in the year and a half here, I can tell there's a lot of genuine mutual respect between you and Kermit. I just wanted to ask you what you respect about him and what he's done with Middle.
Okay, well, you know, I knew his father. His father was a coach back in Mississippi State in the 70s. He was the head coach there in the 70s. I don't know exactly what dates, but, you know, becoming an assistant there, I got to know him some. He'd be around. He lived probably in Tupelo up in North Mississippi, so just got to know him. And then as a head coach, he's around some. You know, Kermit probably through the years, we probably really got to know him when he's assistant at LSU for 3 or 4 years. He was there with John Brady early in those days, early in his my career as head coach. He was kind of assistant down there. So, you know, I think he's been at Middle 16 years. Is that correct? 16 years. Yeah, I know he's done a very good job there, and especially in the last 2 to 3 years, they've been really good. You know, his teams play hard. I think they execute well offensively, and you know, he kind of got a keen guy like we got, and we all want to say lucky. I'm sure he could look at his guy and say, did you dream he'd average 20, 21 points a game? Like you can ask us, did we think Darius or Dwight would average what they're averaging? Probably not. So, but give him credit for taking a guy like that and get him to fit in and be as productive as he has. So, again, what they've done this is 3rd year in a row, right? They've really been, is that correct? They've been to tournament 2 prior years. Before that, did they go to tournament any?
Zach, was it 2013?
Yes, last year, final year in the Sun Belt.
1 year in the Sun Belt, so this will be their 3rd year in Conference USA, and they've been in Conference USA how many years now? They came before Western.
1 year, then 1 more year.
Well, they've been in there in 5. So it's very obvious they've been really good in the 3 years here in Conference USA. Really good. Top 23rd in the country right now.
What does a game like tomorrow night mean for Conference USA, just as a whole?
Well, that's the way it's supposed to be. Playing a meaningful game. You guys are talking about it. National media are talking about it. It's the way it's supposed to be. Now you can talk about a rivalry a little bit. You know, I didn't understand. Everybody talked about Middle being a rivalry. Well, a rivalry's not when we go on their home court last year and it's a 3rd full. That's not a rivalry. A rivalry is when you go somewhere on the road and that gym's packed. They come here, it's packed. We go there, it's packed. That's what a real rivalry is about, no matter what your records are. And that's the way it's supposed to be. And I think it speaks for both teams being able to get that to that point right now.
Coach, Justin has obviously meant so much to this program, having played his last game at Diddle. But for you, what has it been like coaching not only a player but a person of Justin?
Well, Justin's been real easy to coach. I don't know if I really hadn't had to coach him, if that makes any sense. He'll be my only guy back. And I trusted him from last year after learning a little bit about his personality, what makes him tick a little bit. He's not a guy that I've really had to coach. I've kind of got him to do what I want him to do and need to do, but I think through a relationship, if that makes any sense. Being my only guy back, I had to have that from him because I trust him as a person. Like I say, I didn't know him all last year. Some things about, you know, his personality. But I've learned that last year, and I think it's helped us this year. You know, he'll be missed. I mean, I mean, he's a terrific player, you know. I tell him this all the time, you know, if he hadn't picked up 30 pounds, hurt his knee, I'd got him in shape to been a 3 guy. But, you know, we spent until December, January kind of getting him back in shape and getting him right. And now, you know, you can see him keep getting better and better. But he's been great. He's been a very unselfish guy. He's a guy very easily as a senior could want my points. And he could get a lot more points. But he understands, too, hey, I got better players around me. I got better people around me. I can sacrifice a little bit for winning. And winning's important. Winning's important to him. And that's what he's been able to do, too. How many times does he force, you say, that's just a bad shot? There ain't a whole lot of them. He'll have one every now and then, but everybody has one or two every now and then. Not at all. You know, he's a good passer, but more important, he's a willing passer. He'll give that ball up for an easy basket somewhere else. Not all seniors would do that. In particular, with a guy that has had the career he's had. You know, I think if you'd asked him, he would tell you, hey, take the winning out of it. Everybody enjoys winning. But what he's enjoyed is his teammates. I think he can tell you that that's been the most enjoyable part of his senior year, besides the winning, but the people he's around. You know, the guys he relates to, the guys he talks to, guys he can have a relationship with. You know, and that's important.
Darius will be amped up to play in Murfreesboro?
Well, you know, I don't know if Chad, you know, I hope he's just amped up for what it is, wherever that game was played at. If we play it in the middle of Nashville, if we play it in Laverne, but, you know, definitely it's back in Middle Tennessee or Murfreesboro. You know, I don't think we need a lot of things to amp us up. I think you can play that game, like you say, wherever you want to play it at. You call the spot, and I think there's enough around it that would amp you up.
Rick, a couple, 3 weeks ago, to paraphrase, I think I asked you if you're enjoying this season, and you said it's a grind. Does it still feel like a grind, but is the grind, for lack of a better phrase, tolerable because of how well you guys are playing?
Well, if you're asking me, Mike, would we rather grind coming off of W's than grind coming off of L's? It's easier grinding coming off of W's for sure. You know, we don't take the time. I know, as good as it was Saturday in here, and I'd say you guys have seen several games in this place through the years. Probably have to think long and hard to find one that was better than what you saw Saturday. Against the competition we did it against. Is that a fair question to you guys? When's the last time you've seen a game like that, Chad? Hadn't.
Right, Marshall would be the closest one. Last time y'all went there.
At Marshall?
Yeah.
We're talking about at Diddle.
Haven't seen one in a while.
You ever seen one, Brad?
No.
Mike?
Nope.
Okay. So, but as a coach and a player, it's enjoyable. But how many wins does it count, Mike? It counts one. It counts one. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. All it does is magnify the next one because of what they've done winning this year. Only reason Middle Tennessee's a big game, because what we did here Saturday, what we did Thursday. And again, they all count as one win and one loss. I know it's easier said than done. It was special because it was senior night. To go out the way we went out, it was special. But again, that one's done. It's over. And as a coach, you don't sit back and enjoy it. You keep things in perspective. It's one win. It's one win. You got to get ready for the next one. And like I say, the next one's the biggest game of the year because it's the next one. It happens to be Middle Tennessee, happens to be, you know, we're all playing for something. And we're all playing for something just because of winning Thursday. Winning Thursday against, who was that, Charlotte? If we hadn't won against Charlotte, it wouldn't be as meaningful. I know that's easier said than done, but that's the kind of way we look at it, keeping you guys grounded. Stay off the mountain, stay out of the valley. As much as you can stay at an even keel through 18 games, when that's 18 games over, that season's done then. You start a new season then. Tournament play is a brand new season. That season's whatever it is, 3 games, 4 games, whatever it is. But right now we got 2 games left in this season, and the biggest game of the year is the next one. Happens to be Middle Tennessee at Middle Tennessee, and we're all playing for something. Is that good? Go ahead, Mike.
Rick, specifically, I cannot think of a bigger stage to this point for Tay tomorrow night. But just you knowing Tay and the way he's been playing.
Tavion, Tavion.
Tavion, sorry about that.
That's okay. I do the same thing. They don't know who I'm talking about half the time, and I say Tay.
I'm not asking you to predict anything, but is this a kind of a stage tomorrow, knowing Tavion, that he'll accept, he'll adapt, and possibly even thrive in?
If you're asking me, is Tavion going to have any stage fright? It'll be 0. I can tell you that. We've been through enough already. He's been through enough acting classes. There's no stage fright with him. The competition we've had, where we've done it at, we've seen him do it different times against different people. And you know, it's late in the year now. I mean, listen, I have 0 concern about our guys being ready. Now, we're going to be ready. We'll find out, are we good enough to win? You know, being ready to play. When you play that kind of competition, it's a fine, fine line. One missed free throw, 1 missed block out, 1 turnover, 1 loose ball, 1 bad call. Those all can be the difference in winning and losing. Again, we've got to be able to, you know, limit those fine line plays as much as we can. And again, on the road, everything's magnified. You know, at home, you can survive those just a little bit better. On the road, there's absolutely no margin for error when you're playing a team like Middle Tennessee.
Everybody good?
All right, guys.